It's the first week of the month and the rent hasn't come in. Now what? If you own a rental property, this is one of those situations that every landlord deals with eventually. And what you do in the next few days matters a lot more than you think, because the wrong move could cost you way more than 1 month's rent. It doesn't matter how well you screened your tenant or how solid your lease is. At some point, someone is going to be late or stop paying. And when it happens, most landlords do one of two things. They either freeze and let it drag on for weeks, hoping it'll work itself out, or they overreact and do something that actually puts them in legal trouble. Neither one ends well. So let me walk you through a clear step-by-step process that protects you, keeps you on the right side of the law, and gives you the best chance of resolving this without it turning into a months-long problem. Now, for note, I am not an attorney, so please seek legal advice. These are just some tips and tricks to walk you through the property management process. First, start with your lease and a conversation. Before you do anything else, go back to your lease agreement. What does it say about the due date? Is there a grace period? What are the late fee terms? Make sure the rent is actually late before you take any action, because the specifics vary based on your lease and your state's laws. Once you've confirmed it's late, reach out to your tenant. A simple call or text is fine. Sometimes it's a genuine mistake, a bank delay, or a payroll issue. If the tenant is communicative and willing to work with you, you might be able to set up a short-term payment plan and resolve it without any legal steps. But here's the key: document everything in writing. Every conversation, every agreement, every text. If this does end up in court, that paper trail is your best friend. Next, know when to escalate and what your options are. If the tenant isn't responding or the rent stays unpaid, it's time to start the eviction process. While the process is generally the same, it's always best to reach out to your local magistrate court to ensure you are completing the proper steps within the proper time frame. Get this wrong, and you could have the process start all over again or an entire case thrown out later. So make sure you know your local requirements or work with someone who does. You also have the option of a cash for keys agreement, where you offer the tenant money to leave voluntarily. It sounds backwards, but it's often faster and cheaper than a full eviction. If you can get the unit back, cleaned out, and re-rented in a couple of weeks instead of spending months in court, the math usually works in your favor. And lastly, what you absolutely cannot do. This is the part that gets landlords into serious trouble. No matter how frustrated you are, do not change the locks, shut off utilities, remove the tenant's belongings, or try to force them out yourself. Every state treats that as illegal, and it can expose you to lawsuits, fines, and penalties that are far more expensive than the unpaid rent. The legal eviction process exists for a reason, and skipping it always backfires. If you followed the steps, serve the proper notice, and the tenant still hasn't paid or left, then you file with the court and let the process play out. It takes time and it's frustrating, but doing it the right way is what protects you. If you're dealing with this right now, please reach out to us to learn more about our eviction releasing guarantee. We're always happy to be a resource to you. And if you've got any questions about the eviction process or how the process should and shouldn't work, don't hesitate to contact us. I'm Pierce Frago with Tide Property Management, and we look forward to hearing from you.